Hello, it's really nice to meet you. My name is Sam Lehane, and I'm head of operations here at Virgin Startup. And we're a not-for-profit that was set up to help founders just like you or people with ideas to set up their businesses, to scale those businesses if they like, and ultimately to make a success out of businesses they are passionate about. So if you have an idea or seeking funding through our Startup Loans program, you are in the right place. So the Startup Loans program, for those that don't know, it's a government-backed scheme that's all about helping early-stage founders get access to business advice, get access to funding, and also get access to post-funding support and mentorship. And we've been doing that for over 9 years now. We also here at Virgin Startup do lots of other programs and events to support every type of founder you can imagine. So be sure to sign up to the Virgin Startup newsletter to find out more about those. Aside from working in Virgin Startup, I also set up a business called MYO. It's at MYO London on Instagram, and it's all about helping adults get creative through arts and crafts, and it's been trading for over 5 years. So I know exactly what it feels like to have an idea or to kind of be very early stage trading and need to kind of get a better plan in place. But fear not, today you're going to get that plan in place. So I'll get up onto the screen very, very shortly, the Virgin Startup Business Plan template. I won't go through every single section in detail because you'll see that there's lots of helpful guidance in there to support you on completing it. And it's more to kind of give you an overview of what is in the document. So you can start to get that great idea of yours onto paper and figure out how it may work in reality. So I'll get this shared on the screen. I'll go full view so we can see it very clearly. But yeah, let's talk through the business plan and we'll go through it in 7 or 8 minutes. And hopefully by the end, you have a good sense for what you need to do. And as I mentioned, there's lots of helpful guidance in it. So before we start, click pause, get a cup of tea or a glass of water and a pen and paper, and then come right back and let's get started. So that business idea of yours, you may feel like the idea is absolutely everything and a good idea is important, but you'll grow to learn as we go through this that the idea is about 10% actually of the company. There's lots of different things that are important to help ensure that it gets set up and that it succeeds, whatever success looks like for you. So you are going to be very important on this journey. Of course, there's going to be marketing research that's needed. There's going to be marketing activities. There's going to be operations to make sure the whole thing flows. And there's going to be research also. But you may be here with just a very rough idea and essentially starting on a blank sheet. That's totally fine. This document is going to help you flesh that out so you get more of an idea about what that idea might turn into and what it may look like. So 10% is you. 10% is the idea, as I mentioned, and then you'll see the different sections. But let's kind of skip through to the next section. So it can be useful to pop in your name, pop in your business name. If you don't have an idea yet, that is totally fine. If you can articulate your idea in one sentence, do pop that in. It's always a good exercise to see, can you do it in one? We'll let you away with 2 or 3 though. In this case, if you can't get it into one. If you're working on the idea with somebody else, feel free to pop it in. And the last 2 sections, don't worry about those. They're basically in relation to if you were to continue to apply to a startup loan, once you complete the business plan template, you can pop those details in, but no need to worry about those for now. If you have a website, social media, pop those in, but feel free to skip through these sections for now also. The idea. So you'll see here that in this document, in each section, which is really, really nifty, you can click here for more guidance, which I'll do shortly. And that'll bring you down to further in the document to actual helpful hints and tips and links to things that'll help you complete each section. So the first section is your business idea. As you see here, and you click in it, here's loads of kind of really helpful information to help you put on paper what that business idea of yours is and what you should think about. Then we move on to the you and why you're starting. So we love here at Virgin Startup to hear the story about why you may wish to start it up. It could be that you experienced a problem, or a relative has an issue, or who knows what the problem may be, or why the idea came about. It is good to pop that on paper and to kind of note down why you're passionate about it. Because if you do want to make this an idea a reality, you may be doing it for 4, 5, 10, 50, 100 years, who knows? So it's important to kind of understand why you want to set up this business and the context around it being started. So again, you can click there for more guidance to understand what should be included in that question. Then we move on to market research. So this is all about trying to get a sense for kind of how big is the market out there for your product or your service idea. And again, you can click on more guidance here, which is really, really helpful, and take your time going through those. Then it's always worth looking at competition. So once you get up and running with this great idea you have, you may not want to worry about the competition too much, but kind of before you get started, it is worth checking to see what are the competition doing, how are they competing with you, what weaknesses they may have, and how are you going to compete against them. And again, there's lots of guidance here if you click on the link. There's generally more than one competitor, so there's a few spaces for that. Customer research, so kind of going down a bit of a lower level from the bigger market research, is kind of trying to actually get in direct contact with potential customers to kind of get a better understanding for who your customers may be. So in MYO, when we set it up, that basically spawned from my now wife and I going to a painting class, and we hadn't been creative for a long time, basically since we were adults, and just really enjoying it and that feeling. And we kind of felt that, okay, there's probably lots of people like us who have been working for 5, 10 years, want to do something a little bit different in their spare time, maybe want to go on a date or bring some friends to hang out and do something creative. We set up a workshop very soon after the idea and kind of learned how to do the craft and how to teach others, and got lots of feedback at that session, excuse me. And the feedback is really positive. And then we kind of felt like we had a good handle for who our customers were, and that'll inform further sections in the business plan. But test trading is definitely worth thinking about if you can. And again, you can click on here for more guidance to figure out a bit more around test trading. Direct research, kind of that could be surveys, going out to meet people. It's worth keeping that in mind also. Evidence of demand, so that can be informed by direct research, by doing the test trading, and there's lots of kind of helpful tips in here around evidencing demand also, so be sure to check that out. Then there's marketing, so you kind of know higher level how big the market might be and where your product or service fits in with the competition. You might have done some test trading or done some surveys and got a good understanding of your customer. Now you need to try and figure out, okay, what are the customer profiles? There may be more than one. And how are you going to get in contact with them? So what activities may you do? What's the description of the customer? So it could be age, what their interests may be, how much disposable income they may have, what location they may be in. And again, click on the guidance here to find out more about that. And you can make it's usually you may have 2, maybe even 3 or more customer profiles. Then a route to market. Again, there's lots of helpful guidance, but this is kind of figuring out, okay, what's the plan then? So I know who my customers may be. I know how I may get in contact with them. What's the kind of plan and strategy to launch this product and reach those people? And again, there's lots of helpful guidance to help you with that. Could be Facebook ads, could be flyers, could be discounts, lots of different ways that you can think of. And I should say with all this, a business plan, particularly if you work with us to apply for funding through a startup loan, it is a draft at this stage. You will get advice on how to tweak things, and if some things may be done a little bit differently, you get advice on that. So it doesn't have to be 100% rock solid as a business plan. It's just really a mechanism to help you articulate that idea and to think it through so that it progresses a little bit more to becoming a reality. So don't worry too much about what you put in. Do think about it, do some research, pop it in, but keep in mind that you'd likely get help further down the line to refine it. Operations. So we've done all the other things. Now it's time to think about how do you actually get the product or service out there? Who are you reliant on? What service providers may you have? Do you need employees? Do you need a premises? So that's what this section is all about, is helping you think through those things. You'll see here, particularly on staff, it's worth thinking about what kind of staff you may need, what their role may be. Do you need them part-time or full-time? What might the cost be when may they start in your business? Then suppliers and third parties. So if you're a product-based business, you'll likely need manufacturing, unless you manufacture it yourself. So it's worth thinking about that. If you need third parties, so for example, if you're setting up a website, you may need to set up a website and figure out what platform you want to list on. So again, there's lots of helpful guidance on those sections further down. It's always worth thinking about the risks. So kind of reasons that the business may fail. Could be regulatory things. It could be potential shipping delays with suppliers. There could be lots of different reasons that cause risk in your business and have a negative impact on it. But lots of these things you can potentially mitigate and ensure that they don't derail your whole business. So again, there's lots of kind of useful guidance in the document to help you think that through. Then we got on to legal or regulatory. I can't pronounce that properly, but I mentioned that before, so it's worth thinking about these, and there's lots of good examples in the document about things to think around there. So typically, if you're a restaurant, for example, you may need to get food safety certification. If you're a cosmetics brand, you might need to get certain lab testing of the products that you wish to sell. So do have a think about what legal and regulatory, that was better, considerations your product or service may need. Next steps. So we've kind of blasted through this very quickly, and we're already on to next steps, which is okay, from now, what needs to happen to make this idea a reality? And again, just draw on the guidance that's in the document. So here's a really good example for, say, a shop that may wish to open. What needs to happen from now? You need to sign the lease and pay the deposit potentially. You need to do the fit out of the property. You need to get equipment, contact a web developer to get a website launched, create a mailing list, have a launch party, all those things. So kind of this is the stage to think logically through the various different steps you may need to do to get that business idea up and running, which is really, really exciting. I should also say in this section, it can be good to think about the associated cost of these activities. And if you were to apply for funding, this will inform how much funding you may need. And that's it. So I know it looks like a very long document, but basically it is a mechanism for you to start with your idea and to start thinking through what the market is like, who you may potentially market the idea to, what competition you have, what legal things to think about, how it may work operationally, and kind of give it your best attempt at filling those boxes and reading the blogs and everything that are linked to. And that will kind of help you form your business plan. So I'll just scroll through this a little bit to give you a sense for what's in here. But yeah, you'll see there's lots of really, really good detail to help you complete all the sections. So as I said at the start, take your time. You don't need to do it all now, but do get started on a couple of the sections before you take a break, just to kind of break the ice on the document, as it were. And it should really help you to form that business idea. And I guess a key thing to keep in mind here is a quote from Richard Branson, the founder of the Virgin Group, of which Virgin Startup is a part of. And kind of building a business is not rocket science. It's about having a great idea, and I'm sure you do, and seeing it through with integrity. And that goes for Virgin Galactic too, which is rocket science. So a little bit of a joke there, but it is important to keep in mind that kind of a great idea, it is about seeing it through in integrity, learning on the way, taking advice, taking feedback, and we can provide tons of that for you, but kind of getting started on it. And this document should really help you to flesh it out. If you have any questions as you go through this document, do feel free to email hello@virginstartup.org, and the founder support team here would really love to help you on the journey. We fund 40 to 50 businesses each month, what we do, and many of those are pre-trading and at idea stage. So we funded nearly 5,000 of those over the years. So we know a thing or two about making an idea a reality. But I really hope to see you as you progress on this journey, and do reach out if we can be of any help. And if we don't meet, I wish you every success in your business. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, and that before you step away, you start doing 1 or 2 sections on the business plan if you are passionate about making that idea of yours a reality. Thank you.